Hello, everybody. How are you? Justin Chamness here, back for another episode of the Lease Option live stream. It is a Tuesday now, November 7th, and we're going to jump into a hot tip for wholesalers right away. Whether you're doing ugly or pretty, doesn't matter. I know you're going to be interested in this tip. And then we're going to talk about making sandwiches and creating passive income. Wouldn't that be nice, even as a wholesaler, to have a little passive income, a little mailbox money coming in? I think that sounds great, don't you?
Some sandwiches. I gotta go to the mall and talk to somebody, and I'll be back.
Hey, welcome back. And now for a quick tip about ugly house wholesaling or pretty house wholesaling in your local market. I don't know if you're doing this or not, but I'm going to share screens and show you how simple it is. First of all, you can see down here in my emails, I'm planning another vacation because I always like that. That's always real nice. But then you see there's some things here at the top. There's some agreements and stuff getting done. Some students and of mine that are really, my students are really ramping up, man. They're coming alive right now in this economy. Yes, man, it's nice. Have something instead of nothing. Uh, Here's a signed agreement by another student of mine. We're going to help them JV, but look at all these prop stream ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I get a bunch more besides just 5. I get a lot more of these. These are just 5 that showed up like yesterday. And I thought I'll save them out for you. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for being a part of what I'm doing. I really enjoy you every day, and I hope you enjoy me. But here we are, looking at PropStream emails. What is this one? Well, Independence is the city in which I live. 61 new properties have been added, tired landlords. 50 new properties have been added, tax delinquencies. 3 new properties have been added, Independence zombie properties. What is a zombie property? That's like a property where the owner is gone. And I think it's like nobody knows where they're at. Okay. Google zombie property. Somebody Google zombie property and then get that and put it in the chat or something, or tell us what it is, because I don't think I'm sharing screens at all. I've been sharing screens this whole time, but not sharing screens. So you can see, let me recap. I'm about to go on another vacation. I've got some students getting agreements together, making offers. I've got one guy that's got several signs. I don't know. And then my students are coming alive. That's my point. But look here, PropStream, 5 emails. 5 emails. 61 new properties added, Independence where I live, tired landlords. And then the next one, 50 tax delinquencies. 3 zombie properties. Somebody put in the chat what zombie properties are. And I want to make sure I'm talking through the right microphone today too. My goodness, it's like it's crazy. Yesterday the sound was horrible. I don't know. I'm normally better than this electronically, but normally my electronic version is better than this. Hey, look, 6 properties have been added pre-probate. That'd be like beneficiaries. 2 properties have been added, Independence bank owned. I get this about once a week or so, I believe. I have it set up. And if you don't have this and other things, and I can tell you right now, I have other list besides what you just saw there: tired landlord, tax delinquency, zombie properties, pre-probate, bank owned. I also have divorce. Guys, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right. Bankruptcy. All right. I've got pre foreclosure notice of defaults. All right. And I get these emails. PropStream does this for me automatically. And you can see if I add all of these up here today with the 5 emails that I got this week, you can see 61 plus 50 is 111, plus 3 is 114, plus 6 is 120, plus 2 is 122 properties. If I want to, and I hope I shared that. Did I share that? I don't know. Let me show you because I want you to see it. I want you to see here 61 plus 50 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2. It's 122 properties being added right now this week. 122. Okay. Now that you've seen that, that's me invading my local market. Just so you know, that's Independence, but I live in Kansas City. Okay. So Kansas City, Missouri, to be in fact. So you can see where I'm getting a large swath of Kansas City, Missouri, but I'm not getting a whole bunch of properties added every week. So here's what you do. You get in a good rhythm with this. Okay. And because PropStream will set you up on a good rhythm. And by the way, if you want a good rhythm with PropStream and you don't have PropStream, go to realestateWholesalerSclub.com, or you can go here with the QR code and you can get the free agreements that I have and everything for you. But if you go there, either place, you'll end up where there's a menu, and in the menu it says important tools. I have an important tools tab. And that important tools, I think that sounds kind of funny. All right, but I'm going to share screens with you and show you that just since we're sitting around here talking. All right, so if you go to my realestateWholesalerSclub.com, or if you scan the QR code, you can come down here to important tools, buy important tools. Okay. If you click that, it'll open up this page where you will see there's some car decals that I like for local marketing. This is your I Buy Houses decal, 10 by 10. It goes on the back of your car, not the side. The decal that says I take over house payments, it is 10 by 10, just the same size. It's really cool. It goes on the back of your car. All right. I use Get Response for co-wholesaling. Here's my flashcards you saw a commercial for a little bit ago. And then here's PropStream Pro. Click there and you'll go to PropStream and you'll be able to pick it up there at the best price, whatever that is today. All right. So there is PropStream, and what it does for me is it sets me up on this regular routine. So if I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do today, okay, and I'm looking at you like moving my eyebrows up and down on purpose. No, I'm not having like a seizure or nothing. But if I do today what I'm supposed to do today, okay, you get what I'm saying, then I'm going to put together 122 yellow letters. Now, how long is that going to take me? Not that long, really. Not that long, really. Yellow letters. Now, if you don't know what a yellow letter is, you can order yellow letters. You can buy yellow letters and have them done for you. I don't recommend it. Okay. I don't recommend it. I recommend, just since you only have 122 today, just send out 122. Stop being a wuss and put it together. Okay, let's talk about sandwiches, because this is the sandwich shop. Hey, let me tell you, the real money in real estate's in sandwich lease options. Nobody ever really wants to tell you about that because it's more flashy to you as the consumer to hear about how you can get control of the deed. I don't blame you. It is pretty exciting, but I'll tell you, there's I believe personally, more money in sandwiching lease options than there is in subject to investing. And there's less risk for you, the investor, because absolutely, that due on sale clause thing is something to be thinking about. That's all I'm going to say about that. So let's talk about sandwich lease options real quick. There are 3 profit centers in sandwich lease options. 3 profit centers. And really, you might say this applies to all potential real estate investment properties. Okay. All right. So this maybe this is a basic lesson for some of you, but it's a good one and it's a good reminder. Okay. The first thing that we want to take a look at possibly here when it comes to sandwich lease options is normally it's a pretty house. Okay. And normally it's a for sale by owner or it's a for rent by owner. So I'm going to write that down. Excuse me. For sale by owner, pretty house, for rent by owner. And now what we find is in a sandwich lease option, we need equity. Equity. What do I mean by equity? Well, let me give you an example, okay? This is something that you don't have to study too hard on to figure out. But if you find out what the fair market value is, and let's assume in this case the fair market value is $500,000, but this motivated homeowner is willing to turn loose of this property for $450,000 because that's about what they owe. So you can see I'm going to recognize right away because of the differential. Yeah, I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it a differential. Okay. I think it is a word, but it doesn't apply here. All right. So you can see right away, I recognize there's money on the table because $500,000 is what the property's fair market value is. That's what it's worth. Now, selling the property, they're willing to sell it for $450,000. I recognize immediately there is equity of how much here? There is $50,000 in equity. All right. It's actually potentially more than that. You see, I wrote down I should have been a doctor. $50K equity. I should have been a doctor because of my messy handwriting. But check this out. Some of you really badly need this. Very badly. $50K would change everything for you. How do you capture $50K in a world that wants you to clock in and out for money? This is the only way that I've ever figured it out, y'all. I'm sure there's other ways, but this is the only way that Mr. Justin here has ever figured out how to pull money out of thin air. And that is find a property that you can either find equity in or create equity in. All right. And lease options is the perfect vehicle for either of those. But when we're talking about sandwiches, we're usually talking about properties we find equity in. We don't have to create so much equity as much as we find equity. Now look how easy it is. Let's say this family put 10% down just a few years ago. Now that's why they owe $450,000-ish. All right. The house is worth $500-ish. That's $50,000 in unrealized cash. That's equity tied up in the house. And the homeowner, are willing to walk away from it because they need to move. They have no choice. Things have changed in their lives. They've got some sense of motivation or urgency. And this is not real money to them because it's equity. Okay. So how do you, as an investor, help them walk away from this equity, which is really what you're doing? Meanwhile, capturing it for yourself and creating a nice deal for someone else. Well, sandwich lease options. This is the first thing. Is there equity? Here's our example: 500,000 fair market value. They're willing to sell it for 450. That's only 10%. That's a 10% differentiation there. You think that sounds like a lot, maybe, but it's not. It's only 10%. 50,000 minus 50,000, 500,000 minus 10% is minus 50,000. It's 450,000. So look at this. How many properties out there fit this paradigm, y'all? Come on. I'm trying to really save your lives here, some of you, because you're drowning in this shit, man. You've been watching this shit for decades and you're never doing anything with it because you don't really get the full scope of the truth here. I'm just trying to help you. How many pretty houses out there right now for sale for rent by owner? Only 1 billion of them, man. How many out there right now have 500,000 in equity, just as an example, and they're willing to turn loose of the property at 90%? You might be saying, well, I don't know. No. Okay, Mr. Negative. All right, nice to see you again, Mr. Negative. There's nobody out there with any deals. No, because I'm not finding any. There must not be any, Mr. Negative. Hi. Dude, I'm telling you, the people that are looking for deals that know what to say are writing deals. I've got several students right now. I'm just flabbergasted that they're writing deals. What do you mean they're your students? Are you flabbergasted? Yeah, I'm flabbergasted because I'm some of these folks, I'm looking at them like, what? You work full time? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scream at you, but this is freaking life-changing right here. Yep. Life-changing. Here's the second thing. A sandwich has to have a monthly spread. So let's talk about monthly spread. Let's assume the seller's payment here every month is $3,350. And we're going to subtract, right? Or we're going to add. What are we going to do? We're going to figure out the spread. Well, we have a $500,000 property. If we don't have any clue whatsoever, we could go to Google Mortgage Calculator and we could plug in what's a $500,000 house cost at 7.5% interest. Well, that'll give you an idea of what the going rate for it is today. You might need to make a little better deal for somebody than that because that's pretty steep. But let's assume you can get this rented out, rent to own to somebody 24 months at $3,850. Right here. $3,350 is what the seller's payment is. But you're able to confidently rent this out to some new homeowner for $3,850. Well, I'm not a genius. And my mom lifted weights, but she didn't raise any dumbbells. That's $500 a month. Now, I don't know about you, but $500 a month is freaking life-changing. Who gets that in a sandwich? You, the investor, get it. Who gets it in an assignment? Well, one of the other two parties, probably the seller. So you can create, let's assume this was for 24 months. 24 times 500, and I'm not a smart guy, but I'm doing the math in my head here, and it looks like an additional $12,000. So we have $50K potential equity here. It's actually more than that because the mortgage is going to be being paid down over the next 24 months. But $50K in equity as it stands today, plus another $12,000. So far, we're looking at $62,000 in potential profits in this one $500,000 deal. We're not done realizing profits yet. Because there's a third profit center, and it is the option fee. The option fee is the money that we collect up front. So we're probably going to bump this 500K because this 500K is what the fair market value is today. But remember, we're going to rent it for 24 months. We're going to get $12,000 over 24 months renting it. And not only that, but we have the ability to collect a down payment up front. Not a down payment technically, but an option fee up front. So equity, let's come back and visit this a little bit and just try to follow me here. Because we have 24 months and fair market value today is 500. We're probably going to raise this to 525 as a purchase price. And we're going to ask for $25,000 cash down. Okay? So what we've done here is we've created an additional $25,000 in equity over 24 months. So let me do the math. $50,000 in existing equity plus $12,000 in collected rents over 24 months is $62,000 plus an additional $25,000 in created equity. That equals 62 plus 25 is $87,000. Now, do you see why I say that the real money in real estate is in sandwich lease options? $87,000 in capturable equity, including a monthly passive income off of one deal. One deal. Now, I'm not a freaking genius here, but let me ask you a question. If you're able to take one deal and make that kind of profit flow from it, how many do you need to build a decent life for oneself? More than you think, but not as many as you might guess. All right, I've yelled at you enough today. 3 profit centers, existing equity, the monthly spread, and the created equity that we're going to capture as option fee on the front side. So let's talk about that one more time real quick before we wrap up today. Option fee we get on the front end. This happens first. Monthly spread we're going to collect over 24 months at $500 a month. And then the existing equity tied up in the property, when our tenant buyer buys, we will capture the 50K. So 25 up front, 500 a month for 24 months, and then 50K when you succeed with the tenant buyer purchasing the property at the end. Now, with that being said, and I don't mean to blow anybody's mind or make it hard for you to understand or follow me, but here's where we find ourselves talking about being a millionaire. Here's where we find ourselves talking about being a millionaire. There are at least 3 different types of millionaires out there doing this business. I don't know about other businesses, doing this business. There's deal millionaires. That means that you've gotten enough deals that your purchase prices on all the properties that you've gotten locked in right now, that you control with lease purchase, the fair market value, if you add them all up, is in the millions. Are you a millionaire? Of sorts, yes. Justin, you could do that with one property. Yes, you could. You could become a asset controlling millionaire. Okay, because you control an asset now that's worth over $1 million, or several assets that add up to over $1 million. That is what we call an asset millionaire. Now, once you build a library of properties that have, you see how this property had $500,000 fair market value today, and then they were willing to walk away for $450. That creates $50,000 in equity. Once you have enough deals that your equity reaches $1 million potential, now that is called being an equity millionaire. Okay, an equity millionaire. Asset millionaire, equity millionaire. Which is better? Equity millionaire. Because this is all potential unrealized profits. And it's over $1 million. Okay. Let's talk about the third type of millionaire in this business. The third type of millionaire is the cash money millionaire. And that's the kind of millionaire who has collected the option fees, he's collecting the passive income, and he has cashed out enough deals to realize enough equity to be a cash money millionaire. So if you're looking for a plan, a staircase, step 1, 2, 3 in the pretty house business, there it is. Don't let it escape. Don't let it run away. Okay. So you can tell I was always, yesterday I was talking about notes, and we're going to talk more about notes in another session. But you can see how it's helpful to have a plan. First of all, set it in your mind to be an asset millionaire. Okay. I have students right now, they don't know it yet because I don't talk to them in these terms. But I have students who have since joined my coaching program in the last couple months who are already asset millionaires now. Did you know you're an asset millionaire? I'm talking to a couple of you, at least. You just showed up a few months ago, a couple months ago, whatever. Now you're an asset millionaire. Okay. Maybe that don't mean nothing to you. But the next step is equity millionaire. Okay. The next step after that is cash money millionaire. Okay. All right, so let's wrap up for today. I hope that was enjoyable for you. Hope you learned something. This is the sandwich lease option zone. We're going to talk about sandwiches a lot because I'm going to get you through to some passive income, man. That's my new thing now. I hope you like it because I'm all about creating an actual career. All right, that's what I'm doing my career. All right, and I want to help you do yours. And what helps that is a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of help, a little bit of camaraderie, a little bit of friendship. And I've got some great programs coming up for you. So if you want to, go ahead and pop in the QR code here and go get some free agreements and some free helps. And I'll even meet with you for free, I think, once for like 15 minutes. I'm a busy guy. I'm really busy nowadays. Whew. You better get with it, guys. You are sleeping on the class if you are not starting to hustle. And you know, I don't know if I invented this word, but I like this word, grind busting. Grind busting. Yeah, because you got to bust that grind. That job is your grind. You got to have some kind of grind busting hustle to get out of that. You ain't going to do it floating through doing the motions. I can tell you that. All right. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. All right. I love you. All right. I'll see you later.
Sandwiches?
I don't want any sandwiches. What is it with you fixing sandwiches?
Okay. Do you want anything else?